Welcome to Scarlet and Gray, live in Arlington. The 82nd Cotton Bowl Classic, one of the great American college bowl games, set to host two of the great American college football name brands, and Buckeye Nation's ready for it. Nearly 4 weeks between games. Hungry to see the Buckeyes try to end the season with a 12th win, which would do wonders for the program. And just moments ago, the Buckeyes arriving here at AT&T Stadium. Urban Meyer greeting every player as they walk into the locker room, the same locker room Ohio State used 3 years ago when they won the national championship right here on this field. Welcome live to AT&T Stadium. I'm Jared Smalley. We're glad you joined us here tonight for Live in Arlington ahead of the Cotton Bowl, Ohio State versus USC. The Buckeyes in their season finale, trying to finish what would be a remarkable season for Ohio State, perhaps a top 5 finish. Already the Big Ten champions this season, yet not playing for their ultimate goal, which is, of course, the college football playoff and a spot in the national championship. Some of the players getting loose at the moment, getting ready to go for what is going to be a big night ahead. Ohio State and USC facing off for the 24th time in their history. USC has dominated the series of late. Both teams into the game with 11-2 records, identical, both as conference champions. The Buckeyes stand as the only team in America with a top 10 rated offense and a top 10 defense. And on offense, they found some incredible run-pass balance. We'll get more into that shortly. USC's offense ranks 15th in the country, but you know all about the quarterback and the problems Sam Darnold can create. The Trojans' defense, however, ranks just 76th in the nation. That is something to keep an eye on in this game. Urban Meyer says it is a golden opportunity for his team to prove its worth.
Sports Director Jared Smalley joining us live from Muirfield Village with a recap of today's events. Jared?
Yeah, Markinelli, we've got some remarkable video to show you here in just a moment. Another beautiful day here. The crowds that came out were rewarded. They stood witness to history today. Previous to today, the record for lowest score for 2 rounds of the Memorial Tournament was 13 under par. That's not the record anymore. Let's take you right to the incredible video of Jason Dufner, and what he has done in this tournament is nothing short of ridiculous. On the 18th green, the approach into that green, he really likes it. It's online, past the hole, takes the sharp slope there, and gravity does the rest. An extremely rare eagle at the 18th hole, and some rare emotion from Jason Dufner. He goes on to birdie 3 straight holes on his second 9. He finishes with a second straight 65. That puts him at 14 under par through 2 rounds, setting a new Memorial Tournament 36-hole scoring record, and that roar at 18 served as the highlight of it. The national championship will not be decided Saturday night in the Horseshoe, but the championship prize will at least be on hand. Look at it in all its glory. 3 feet tall from above the base, 24-karat gold. And Ohio State was the first team to ever raise it up at the end of a season. Some players say if they want to raise it again, it starts with Oklahoma Saturday.
Audrey, Ohio State crosses the border a bunch when they recruit. They go to borders all over this country to find new players. Coach Conley knows a thing or two about recruiting players. Interesting thing with Michigan, they've had really good recruiting classes the past couple of years. Top 10 type recruiting classes, yet a 3-loss football team this year. Perhaps this might explain a little bit as to why. They have really struggled to protect their quarterbacks. Michigan this season ranks 11th in the Big Ten in sacks allowed. They've given up 29 sacks in 11 games. By comparison, Ohio State is tied for first in the league in that category. They've allowed just 16 sacks this season. So, Coach, we know Michigan can run block. We've seen them do that time and again. Why are they struggling in not only pass protection, but in the throw game overall?
Well, I think, first of all, Jared, one thing is the offensive line. They got some younger guys in there.
But we will start with Jared Smalley live at the Big House with how the Bucs managed to pull this one off. Jared?
Hey, good evening, Katie. This had all the usual pregame pageantry you'd expect from Ohio State and Michigan, but just moments into the game, Buckeye quarterback J.T. Barrett suffered a surprising injury, and it didn't happen out here in the field of play. It happened over here on the Ohio State sideline. A year ago on this show, we reported on the fight for autism insurance parity in Ohio. Autism families have never been guaranteed coverage for scientifically proven therapies until now.
On January 4th of this year, Governor Kasich signed House Bill 463 into law.
Times were once good, really good, at Ohio State, and the new basketball boss is tasked with bringing the good times back. One of Chris Holtmann's new hires could help in that process because that new hire was here when those times were quite good. Hey, ladies, just I'm asking for a friend. If there was like a bald spot situation, would this work? Like in that? I mean, not for me.
He's asking for a friend.
Not for me, but for a friend, would this?
Yeah.
No?
Definitely.
I feel ashamed. You look great, by the way.
You're going to love this robot. Jacob attends Worthington Estates Elementary, but he does not do it in person. Meet Jacob's robot. It is a device located by a staff member at Ohio State. And Jacob can control the robot from home through his touchscreen, moving through the hallways and classrooms with no problems. It works through FaceTime so he can keep up with his studies. He's also become a popular figure throughout the school district. And that was on full display Friday night.
Hi, Mom. Can you hear me?
It's a modern Friday night. A 10-year-old boy at home using FaceTime.
Photo lets me take a picture just like...
But about a mile away at the Thomas Worthington Gym, Jacob's set to become the star.
They decided that they were going to make him an honorary Cardinal tonight.
Uh-oh, now we get him. Yeah. That was a good one.
It's always scary, especially when you're the one that's sick, so he didn't know if his friends were still going to care about him.
We went through a lot, up and down roller coaster. We thought he was getting better all the way through.
Jacob's mother, Ashley, works as a cheerleading sponsor at Thomas Worthington, and Friday, the Cardinals hosted their rivals from Worthington Kilbourne. A packed house to see it, including Jacob.
Hi, Bella.
It's like he's there. He could be in a seat, sitting right there.
People do wave at me a lot.
At halftime,
All right, walk forward, Jacob.
Jacob steered himself to center court to meet his new adoring fans.
Everyone here in Worthington, any way that they could have helped us. You know, we had people coming over saying, let us make dinner when things were going wrong and he was in the hospital for a month. You know, everybody just comes together, and it's just a family aspect here at Worthington, and everyone takes care of everyone.
Oh, come on, they logged me off.
Oh! His parents say tests are still inconclusive whether Jacob will need that double lung transplant, but some of his recent tests have shown some encouraging results, so we'll see about that. He says the only places he's really been able to go outside of his house are the doctor's office and to his grandparents' house, but his device is keeping him in touch with his friends. In fact, they've even figured out how to play video games over it. That is next level stuff.
Yeah, I believe it.
We heard earlier from one of the trauma doctors. What have you learned tonight?
Yeah, good evening, Ellie. Interesting what happened here this evening. It was a normal staffing level, Ohio State told us here this evening, but they were even more prepared than maybe a typical assortment of doctors would be able to be prepared for when the patients arrived here. That's because the doctors had already discovered video of the incident at the State Fair. They were able to review the video and were able to attend to the injuries based on what they had seen on the videotape. It was a fascinating piece of information we learned from the staff here tonight and Dr. David Evans, who told us exactly what they had seen from the patients when they arrived.
Well, we reviewed videotape that demonstrated that.
In November, he scored the winning touchdown against Michigan. Well, today, Curtis Samuel started his professional career, first day on the job at training camp for the Carolina Panthers. But he's still a young man, and here's how I know that. He says his mom dropped him off at training camp because she needed the car for the afternoon, had to give him a lift to camp. Kind of love that story. So Curtis is not walking through that door when Buckeye practice opens Thursday morning at 6:30 a.m.
All these playoff scenarios could play out, Jared.
Yeah, the key word there, all, Mark. There are many. The new college football playoff rankings are going to come out tonight about 7 o'clock. The only ones that actually matter will be released this coming Sunday at noon. Here's what I think you're probably going to see tonight. I think you're going to see Clemson at #1. You're probably going to see Oklahoma here at 2. Of course, they defeated Ohio State earlier this year. I think you're going to see Georgia coming in that #3 spot. They're going to the SEC Championship this weekend, and there's unbeaten Wisconsin at #4 in all likelihood. On the outside looking in, I think you're going to see Ohio State, Alabama, Auburn, and Miami all there. But again, these rankings could look very different come Sunday. It is tough to boil down J.T. Barrett's Buckeye career into just a few bullet points, but we'll try. The only 3-time captain in Buckeye football history, owner of 35 Big Ten and school records, one of those records, touchdowns responsible for in his career, 145 of them. Welcome back live in Arlington as we get you set for the Cotton Bowl tonight. I'm Jared Smalley. It's going to be J.T. Barrett's final football game as an Ohio State Buckeye, and it is a perfect place for it here, merely 2 hours and change from his hometown of Wichita Falls, Texas. We recently asked Barrett to reflect on his career and looking forward to his future. Wesley Walters will graduate from Olentangy Liberty High School this spring. He is a young man on the autism spectrum who for the past 4 years has served as a team manager for the basketball program there. He's always cheered for his friends on the court, but this season on senior night, they cheered for him.
The seniors from our varsity basketball team.
I'm proud of you.
But this time, the manager's the star.
You're going to finish it off with a bang, aren't you?
It's just an amazing day for all of us.
And next is Wesley Walters.
Hi, buddy. Oh, I love you, man.
Thank you. Wesley's path to this moment started before he started school. He was diagnosed with autism as a young boy, but able to attend typical schools, and immediately he made an impression.
He was actually probably one of my first friends I've ever met. He definitely had a hard time, making some friends at that point, because, at that age, most people just aren't that, understanding.
Wesley found his home in hoops, joining the middle school basketball team as a manager, and when he got to high school...
He was in my phys ed class, and he came up to me one day, I'll never forget, probably in September, and said, I like basketball, and I want to help out.
You're on the right side, go!
For 4 years, Wesley's never missed a practice or a chance to offer support.
They need to get bigger and stronger and work as a team.
He's also taught the players a few things. For example, Wesley's love for Thomas the Tank Engine.
I know there's Gordon and Henry and Edward and the other engines. They're so cool.
And we've had a fun time talking about that. He's even gotten me to watch a couple of episodes and stuff. He gave everyone on the team a character name.
What's your character name?
I'm engine number 11.
I get Trey Stabline, I name him James, the red engine. He's so cool.
All right, good luck, bud.
And before tip-off, Wesley offers wise words.
I'm very proud of you guys that you did a good job. Now, let's do this and let's win this game and beat Gilmore. You got it? All right, let's do it.
He's all about, keeping them fired up, keeping them focused, and he gets frustrated when they're not.
Oh, no.
When I'm out there and I mess up or something, I have my head down, he'll just come up to me and be like, come on, Brett, let's go.
Now we're talking.
It's going to be over pretty soon. Will you miss it?
Yeah, indeed, I will. No, I'm going to miss them all. But I'll be back sometimes. That is really good.
Oh, what a gem. Thank you for joining us tonight.
9 years of the autism puzzle. Couldn't have done it without you. Thanks.